This is a message to all my supporters of this podcast. I'm introducing a new supporters program. You can contribute a small amount as a one-off payment to show your love for this podcast. Thank you in advance for all your contributions.
This is the Absolute Business Mindset podcast, created and hosted by Mark Hayward. I am a corporate employee with an entrepreneurial mindset. This podcast will help and support you with new ideas about business. These are my thoughts, ideas and comments. Today, my first podcast of 2020, I'm going to talk about 2020 for me, for you, things that you should be doing, things that you should be thinking about, and setting goals, and give you a good encompass of what it is to be able to propel yourself forward to a successful 2020. Hi everyone, Mark Hayward from the Absolute Business Mindset podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the new year. It's my first podcast of 2020. I took a break away over Christmas. I went away and I wanted to just talk a little bit about why it was quite cleansing to actually take yourself off of the sort of social media bubble. And then I'm going to talk about the various things to do with 2020 and goals and setting and things like that. So it would be really helpful for you to give me any feedback on the podcast, what you'd like, what you wouldn't like. We've got some more guests being lined up as we speak. I sort of tapered off at the end of December because I thought most people wouldn't be wanting to do interviews. So a couple that were from last year and a couple of people have contacted me. So look out for some of those in the future. So I wanted to just say that Happy New Year to everyone. If you've got any feedback, go to absolutebusinessmindset@gmail.com. I'd love to get your feedback on there. It'd be really interesting to see what you like, what you don't like, what you want me to keep, to stop, etc. So anyway, let's talk about the new year 2020. So I was away over Christmas, took a well-due break in the sun. I was very fortunate we got some time in the sun, which has been really, really refreshing, and it actually gave me perspective. I was going to release a podcast on the Sunday I was away, but I had numerous conversations with my wife, and she was like, I'd really like you just to not be on call as such, so I took it as a break, and hopefully you didn't miss that Sunday. I did put out in social media that I was away, but what I did was I had no laptop, no social media posts. I did look at it a little bit. It's interesting just to see what people are doing. No iPad, no podcast, no YouTube posts. Now, I actually got converted. I actually think it's quite good to have a refresh button to give yourself some time. I would recommend taking time off of posting. It could be over the summer period, it could be over winter, it could be over Easter, whatever's important to you. What the time that you're having away with your family, I think is important to separate, and the world does not actually stop if you don't post. So I would say do that. Give yourself a break, give yourself a rest time, recharge those batteries. I'm now properly geared up for 2020. I'm really excited about what the 2020 is going to unfold. I can't tell you everything at the moment. There's some things, some fires being stoked at the moment, but I will give you a little bit later on this podcast a bit of an insight into what I'm considering to do in 2020. But as I say, it's not all to be revealed yet. That will be later on in the year. But super pumped, super excited. I even said to my wife, I'm ready to go back now. I'm ready to start this 2020. I'm really, really I feel it's a promising year for me. There will be big changes. There will be big reveals. There could be some, if everything falls into place, there could be some really big changes in my life. So looking forward to it. It's really exciting. Can't wait for it now. So back, you'll have weekly podcasts going forward, so don't worry about that. But yeah, having that refresh button, having that downtime was incredibly helpful for me, and it's been super inspiring for me to now kick on into 2020. So what does the new year, new goals mean to me? So my personal goals, I'm going to give you excuse me, I'm actually going to do my goals, and I'll talk about that in a minute, properly detail my goals for the next 6 months, 12 months, and probably 10 years. But the easy ones, and these are my honest things, I'm trying to be as honest as I can with you guys. I don't want to cover up anything to think that I'm a perfect in any shape or form. I'm far from it, and so this is why I want to talk through some of they're beyond goals. They're sort of lifestyle choices that I need to make to keep myself healthy and keep myself there for you, for my family. So I've struggled since my brother died about smoking. I've sort of been on and off for about 6 months. I need to stop that. I need to stop doing that. I need to stop. It's going to kill me, and I know that it's stupid people start smoking again, and after giving up, and I've entered into that realm, although under extremely difficult circumstances I would defend myself in, but equally it's got to be something that has to stop, and will stop in 2020. I feel that it needs to be done. So equally, we're going to be doing dry January, me and my wife. We actually drunk while we were away up to today, but we're going to do dry January, and I'm hoping to see some results on sleeping, waking up, so really excited to experiment with that. When I don't know if this is knowledge for everyone, I went probably 3 or 4 years without drinking at all. Ended up being very, very happy without drinking, but a couple of events, like parties and things like that, I started drinking, and it became a little bit more regular. So looking to do dry January and see what happens there. Want to do more exercise, so I get a great endorphin rush, whether it's running on the street, whether it's running in the gym, whether it's cardio, whether it's weights, swimming. I've got plenty of options, and I need to start doing that more. I get a lot from that. My mental health is a lot better. My physical health is a lot better, and hopefully I can lose a few pounds as well. It would be helpful to do that. And then obviously there's this new project which is coming later in 2020, which is TBC, to be confirmed. So you need to just wait for that. There will be announcements later on in the year, so check that out. So I was saying that I need to do my planning. I need to do my goals for 2020. The areas that I'm going to consider is work, my side hustle, so podcasts, coaching. I need to consider my family. They are incredibly important to me, and they need to be included in everything I do. And then some of these are the earlier things I've talked about before. Lifestyle, I need to change some of my lifestyle choices. So that will be done probably next weekend. I will spend some time on getting that right for me for 2020. I might even tell you the goals I've set, make myself a little bit more accountable. So I think that's a good thing. So check that out. I'll try and give you as long as there's nothing personal, which I don't think anything that I'm going to say is going to be massively personal, which I've not really shared with you before. So maybe next weekend I'll give you a share of the goals that I'm actually going to do for 2020. One of the things that is happening is property My property investment is increasing. It will be a priority for 2020. So that's going to be a massive part of my life in the next 6 to 12 months. Hopefully get some really good deals on that. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about that in a later stage as well. So yeah, and one of the things I did when I was preparing for this, yes, it's true, I do prepare for these things, for these podcasts. I wanted to know, in my own mind, I wanted to remember why I'm lucky. And I think that's equally like people say, I've heard Gary Vee talk about, if it was your last day on planet Earth, what would you do? Or you should live your life like it's your last day of the life. I want to put a slightly different twist on it. I want to say, so lucky is my word. It could be anything else. It could be why I'm fortunate, why I'm grateful. But I think it's important to refresh and reflect on why I think I'm fortunate. I'm grateful for what I have, but what are those things that I'm grateful for? So first things first is my family, my girls, my wife and my 2 kids. I'm very fortunate to have them in my life. They make me a better person. They make me grounded. They keep me grounded, I should say. They're the reason why I do all of this. I do it to make them proud. So my girls are really important to me, and that's why I'm fortunate for them and grateful for them. Second thing is my podcast and YouTube channel. I love doing this. I love doing the interviews. I love talking to these solo monologue conversations that I have with you. I feel very fortunate to have the time and space and headspace to be able to do this. So I love doing this, and I'll continue to do this. My job, I'm very fortunate to have a very good job, good career prospects, lots to look forward to in that. So lots of people might be out, but not lots of people. There might be people out there that are listening who are out of jobs, or equally have a job and not a career, which I think is equally as frustrating, or maybe not a career path. It might be slightly different. 3, I've inherited some properties. I feel very fortunate. It's come with a big cost, which I've talked about a lot, but the upside of that was that I've inherited properties which I'm renting out. Number 5 is that I own my own property. Me and my wife and my girls live in a property which we own, which we're very fortunate to be in that situation as well. And this was what I wanted to touch on, and I've talked about this a few times. I had 39 years of my time with my family, my mother, my father, and my brother. Obviously, there's still quite a lot of sadness that is tinged with this, but shared moments I had with them mean a lot to me, and they will be important to me. I'm going to try and celebrate traditions, my family traditions, with my girls. I'm going to talk to them about funny things that we did when we were kids, the precious moments, important moments. So I was lucky. I cut dreadfully short, but I was trying to think of how fortunate I was to have them in my life. So that's important. I must be present in my life. I have to not let moments pass, opportunities pass. I have to be there in it at the moment, with my kids, with my job, with my side hustle, with my property. Just be there. It's incredibly important to not let time drift past. It's so easy, your days merge into weeks and months, and then we'll be around to Christmas again. And some of you that are listening to this won't have known where the year went. I hear that a lot of people at work. God, I don't know where 2019 went. Well, it went by not making enough of the moments of your life. So So we need to suck the best bits out of life and keep moving forwards on that. So we talked a lot about goals, we've talked about planning, we've talked about why I think I'm grateful and lucky. Sort of words, I was playing around when I was preparing for this. I was playing around with words that I think are going to be important. There is a tool, I can't remember what the tool's called, but you have a group of people and they add words, and when they're more regularly used, they are bigger on a screen. I can't remember what it's called, but these were the words that I thought were important for my 2020. Exhausting, fun, tinged with sadness, must laugh more. I need to laugh more. I need to be I need to get more laughter into my life. I think it's a great healer. So I want to read more books. Or actually, I listen to them mostly, but I want to consume more information, build up my skills, my knowledge, my techniques, get better at mindset. I don't talk a lot about mindset now. Maybe in 2020 I want to talk about mindset, because I think it's so important that you're in the right mindset, and all the goals that you set put you in the right mindset. So everyone needs to get their mind right for 2020 to make it big, to make it successful. And then the last one, which is split into two, it's obviously I'm going to make mistakes, but I must learn by those mistakes. It's so important to not let things happen twice. Once is a failure, you learn from, don't do it again. It was always what I was taught in my corporate job. It's quite hard, but I think it's been giving me a good training. And learn from books, learn from podcasts, learn from. I'm looking into doing a mastermind with someone, or joining a mastermind to talk about small businesses, and sort of I'll talk about my podcast and YouTube channel and social media and stuff. Maybe with property as well. I think it's important that you get great mentors, great coaches, because they are so important to make you accountable, to make you inspire you, to teach you. So if you're actually sitting there and you don't have a mentor, I think you need one. So Mark Zuckerberg had Steve Jobs as a mentor. Bill Gates had Warren Buffett as a mentor. I know Zig Ziglar was a mentor for a few people as well. I think if you don't have a mentor or a coach, it's incredibly important that you do that, because it will just catapult. It'll be the catalyst for your 2020 to be awesome, to be so good. So look out for that. Please try and find, if you haven't got a mentor or a coach, go and find one. It's so important. It will change your life, I promise. And while I was preparing this, I thought to myself, I wanted an inspirational quote, and I could have gone online and got Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, Steve Jobs, who knows, to give me a great quote. But I actually got one from the 1980s and 1990s rock and roll star Billy Joel. And some people will be recounting now. Some people will have switched off when they heard that I'm going to quote from Billy Joel. But he said at the end of all of his concerts, he would leave the audience with, "Don't let those bastards get you down." And I just thought that's a nice way of actually. We've got so much ambition. We've got so much to drive for in 2020. There's so much to look forward to. I'm super excited about 2020. I think it's going to be a big year for me. I think it's going to be a transformative year for me. I'm so excited. I want to make this work so much and work for me and my family, and for all you guys as well, because you'll hopefully get some learnings from my experiences as well. But yeah, don't let the bastards get you down, because there's always someone that's a friend, a family, a colleague, those like, you can't do that. Don't do that. No, you're not good enough to do that. I'd never do that. So just ignore them, park them to the side, and make it a successful 2020. Good luck to you all. I thank you again for being a part of my audience that listens to my podcast, my YouTube channel. I love you loads. I really do appreciate the support you give me. If anyone has any ideas about the podcast, what you'd like to keep, what you'd like to stop, start, or keep, then email me on absolutebusinessmindset@gmail.com. Love to hear your ideas. They will all be considered, all read by me and considered. So last thing, thank you. Happy New Year. Make 2020 a big one for you and for your family, and good luck. Thank you very much.